views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
What might be in the way of you reaching and living your soul's divine purpose? Have you ever wondered if there's a way to heal the deep, hidden, inner issues, wounds, beliefs, and traumas? The journey into spiritual healing engages people in all areas of their lives to heal themselves and others. You will be engaged by powerful stories of hope, healing, love, and God as the source for real wellness. In this live call-in show, Dr. Jaffe brings testament to how medical spiritual healing and Sufism, together with traditional and complementary medicine, can heal life-threatening disease, chronic illness, and personal issues through understanding and transforming the inner causes and experiences that lock disease in place. Dr. Jaffe takes you on a journey and will show you how to find and heal these inner issues and painful unresolved subconscious wounds. You are listening to Journey into Spiritual Healing Radio with Dr. Jaffe.
Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's great to have all of you tune us in and turn us on. Today, again, we get to have a conversation about Journey into Spiritual Healing with Dr. Abraham Jaffe. This is about embracing divine presence, unity, and love. Now, why is that critical/key? Because what we now know and what we're learning about dis-ease is that the energies emotionally, spiritually, cellularly, all of this, everything we ignite, we are energy. And the question really becomes, as energy, what is it that we enact/activate in our lives? Today, Dr. Jaffe is going to talk about, for me, what are some of the questions around disease? What are some of the causes? What have we learned? What have we learned about energy, frequency, vibration, emotions? And then what can we do, especially in the realm, as we're talking about here today, spiritual healing. For those of you that want to know more about Dr. Jaffe, let me make sure that you absolutely have the website throughout the show today. Dr. Jaffe, MD, J-A-F as in Frank, F as in Frank, E-M-D.com. Because this is really a proliferation of everything in his life that he is committed to about bringing the absolute phenomenon of healing to the forefront and the power that each and every one of us has inside of us. It's not necessarily about what that thing is you're healing, but it's about completely embracing aspects of ourselves, right, that have to do with our potentiality to move beyond a symptom, to move beyond a situation, and to step into the world of spiritual healing. Today, what your disease has come to teach you. Yeah, boy. Dr. Jaffe, that is a big question.
Thanks, Pat, and nice to be back with you and your audience today. First thing we want to talk about is, what is disease?
Yeah.
Disease, you said it rightly, disease really means dis-ease. And, going through medical school, I always used to laugh at that, like I thought it was a joke. 40 years later, I realized it's actually the truth. When our bodies are not at peace inside, when we are in, dis-ease, we're not in ease, we're not at peace, we get sick. So the bottom line of it is dis-ease is really exactly named right, and when we're not at peace, we get sick. So the question then really becomes, why are we not at peace inside of ourselves? And the answer, again, is what you alluded to, which is it has to do with a combination of our emotional states. If we're angry, fearful, jealous, frightened, sad, those states cause a state of disease. That's one level of the problems people hit. A deeper place has to do with what I call stored experience or memories, or we just call it, in Sufism, we call it images. In medical spiritual healing, we call it images. Images are the stored, negative, essentially experiences, and the memories or the images of those experiences that are carried in the subconscious, and they actually layer into the body in different places, and there's a science to that. So the second level is the images that are causing those experiences. The third level has to do with the person's relationship to those images. I call those issues. In other words, a person may not accept, or they may be fighting with an experience. They may not want to experience. They may feel victimized by the experience. So there's a relationship they have to that stored experience, not only what happened, but further what develops out of it. So now you've got the emotions, you've got the images, you've got the issues. But here's the final piece, which is what we're talking about today, what your disease has come to teach you. Is it possible that actually the disease is here to teach us spiritual lessons? In other words, the disease, even though on the outer, we have these experiences and these images, emotions, but inside, is there really a spiritual reason that it's there? Is it trying to teach us something? And my personal experience now is that when we understand the spiritual teaching of the disease, and we get it, and when I say get it, I don't mean just get it in our minds, but I mean get it in our hearts, our bodies, our souls. When we fully embody that teaching so that the old way is no longer there, that's when we get radical healing of disease across the board. So this understanding of what your disease has come to teach you, it's a spiritual teaching that is the jewel. It's the jewel. It's the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's the silver lining inside the cloud. It's what's inside of the disease that is here to teach us something special. And that's really the key to healing disease.
Yeah, I mean, what I love about what we're talking about here today is that there is a message here that if we understand this process, what you're talking about, there is, a light bulb that possibly could go on before you actually get the disease. And, I wish I could say that in my life that, that's the way it's been. But there are these lessons that you go through, and only you can go through them so that you can understand what it is that is here to teach you, right? But many people, even with the research, Dr. Jaffe, that we now see is being published in medical journals about emotions, about things that happen in our lives, about trauma, about stress, even with this enormous body of knowledge now and research, there's still a missing link for people. Is the missing link that we don't understand what causes things like breast cancer, perhaps, or is the missing link, even though we might know it, we don't have the tools to do something different?
Well, I think you've hit it. The missing link is both the understanding of the teaching of the illness, why has breast cancer come, and the second thing is, that image and issue aspect that's hidden in the subconscious. So if a person has breast cancer, for example, and you treat it with chemoradiation, of course that may stop the progression of the tumor. You can have a mastectomy that may stop the progression of the tumor. But, what's happening behind there? If the person has an issue or a subconscious memory that's causing that disease to express itself, and you haven't taken care of that inside the person, or a person who's trying to heal doesn't take care of it themselves, what do you think happens to that stored place? It's going to find another way of coming out. It's going to express itself in the other breast, or in a different place in the breast, or potentially a different place in the body. So if we're really going to heal, and I'm not against using conventional allopathic methods to heal, but if we don't take the time to really get hold of those
Here we are in the world. I heard another statistic this morning about the rise of disease. Diseases like autoimmune disease and inflammation, really, where the immune system attacks itself. There's been an age-old debate, nature or nurture, and basically what we're asking the question is, do I have the power or control of my own destiny when it comes to disease, or am I just genetically dealt the deck of cards that I'm dealt, and so there it is?
Yeah, but this is for me, it's not an age-old question. we are given genetics. We know that today. We know that there are many genes that express the formation of an illness. It's not just one gene. And that people have had genes often, their whole life. It doesn't happen until 20, 30 years later that gene expresses itself, and all of a sudden they get a disease. And that's usually after something happens. So having genetics, and having your, quote, nature is part of it. There's no question. Some people are more open than others. But the other side of it, that nurture question, is what is allowing the expression of that illness within it. And the answer to that could come down to dis-ease, lack of peace, stress, or, particular emotional traumas that people have in their lives. So, for example, we know there's been a lot of research that often cancer shows up 6 to 9 months after, a major trauma such as loss of a job, loss of a relationship, divorce, that type of thing. So what's really happening is these emotional traumas are being expressed through these, the formation of cancer. So it's a combination of nature and nurture that makes it happen. So yes, you can't really change your DNA that much. Today we don't have a way to do that yet.
Mm-hmm.
But we can certainly change the nurture part.
Yeah, Dr. Jaffe, as we look at this and we take this journey together today with our listeners, there are a few things that come to mind. One of them comes to mind is to, now having this knowledge, right? I don't think we can say enough about the word belief, but let's talk about belief with a capital B. And what I mean by that is belief takes on a capital B when it becomes crowded with emotions, toxicity, stories of life, and what something means. When we come back, Dr. Jaffe is going to take us down the road into the journey of where do you look to find that cause? Where do you look? And when we come back, you may hear something that may perhaps make you rethink all of the cracks and crevices you may be looking in, right? We're also opening up the phone lines, 1-800-930-2819. Let's take a short break, everyone. We'll be right back.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet. Welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
Ignite your inner magic on Grow Your Soul Radio with Jane Matanga. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as host Jane Matanga explores how to overcome your fears to help you gain the inspiration you need to awaken your path to joy. Learn the way to life mastery and the enlightened path with Grow Your Soul Radio. For more information on Jane Matanga and her work, visit enlightened-path.com.
Tune in to the Astral Insider, your portal for adventure, insight, and growth with Fernando Albert. And get ready to tour the astral realm, expand your life in ways you've never imagined, and call in for the journey of your life with this world-renowned lucid dreamer, astral projectionist, psychic medium, and healer, Fernando Albert. This is every second and fourth Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Are you done being afraid to jump into the life that's waiting for you? Are you ready for a real shift? I invite you to tune in every Tuesday with me, Tracy L., on the Tracy L. Clark Show, where we will teach you how to live your extraordinary life. At 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio, where I will provide the tools and the steps needed to help you transcend perceived limitations and move forward with an extraordinary life. For more information, visit me at tracylclark.com.
To see your life from an angel's perspective, book a personal consultation with Claire Candy Huff, angelic walk-in angel Ariel at Angel Healing House. Candy provides intuitive counseling, Reiki, and angel readings in person in Los Angeles or nationally and internationally via phone or Skype. She will channel the practical tools you need to transform your life. Call now 831-277-3716 or visit angelhealinghouse.com.
If you're dealing with fear and anxiety, you've probably noticed that the more you fight these emotions, the stronger they seem to get. Dr. Friedemann Schaub, the author of The Fear and Anxiety Solution, explains that instead of suppressing, we need to identify and resolve the deeper subconscious root causes of fear and anxiety. His personal breakthrough program has helped thousands worldwide to overcome their emotional challenges. To learn more, visit thefearandanxietysolution.com and schedule your free consultation with Dr. Schaub now.
Hey everybody, welcome. It's so great to have all of you tune us in, turn us on. Go and take a look at drjaffemd.com. When you go there, you're going to be able to see the University of Medical Spiritual Healing. And you'll also find the spring session is getting ready to get underway. There's also a summer session, and then there's a fall session. So there's a lot of information that will help you not only just find out more about what we're talking about here today, but to gather your arsenal of tools, and your arsenal of tools that could be used in a multi-layered approach to healing. And that's what we're actually talking about today. Dr. Jaffe, the question that I asked before the break is kind of this one. And I think this has been my own experience, healthy most of my life. And then all of a sudden, April 1st of 2004, I wasn't. And then the journey begins, right? And you're watching the medical profession as they try to look for the cause of what's going on, even if they don't know what's going on. But for the most part, in my case, they just wanted to stop the symptoms. Many years later, was it that I discovered that underneath, and using the word cause, is very different than symptom. Let's talk about the difference, and let's talk about what you've discovered in spiritual healing.
Okay, well, that's a great question. And by the way, for people who want to learn how to do the healing in this way, or to heal themselves, and they have illness, or they have personal issues in their lives, they're struggling, or even psychiatric or psychological issues, learning to get to the causes of your issues and the problems you're having can really change your life in a major way. So if you look at my website, drjaffemd.com, you'll see the University of Medical Spiritual Healing, where we have a 1- and 2-year program to really teach people to heal the causative level of illnesses, which is what we're talking about. So let's talk about that a little bit. If you think about a car, if you have the oil light go on your car, and you're worried about that oil light, and so you reach behind the dashboard and you rip out the wire to the oil light will go off. And all of a sudden you're not going to worry about it anymore because you don't see that red light scaring you. However, the reason that oil light went on is still there. Maybe there's a leak in the oil, or maybe the oil's not pure. There's some problem behind it. If you don't take care of the problem behind it, sooner or later that problem is going to cause the engine to collapse. So, there's the immediate handling of the symptom, the red light comes on, and there's the causative level, which is what's causing the red light to turn on, which is a problem with the oil itself, right? Well, it's the same with the body. These symptoms we're having, which are what I call expressed illnesses, these are actually the oil light. So when you get breast cancer, or you get Hashimoto's thyroiditis, or you get, some type of autoimmune disease, that is the oil light turning on. Okay, now, nobody likes them because symptoms are bad. In other words, you have a thyroiditis, you're tired. You have breast cancer, you're frightened. These things are very real. So, of course, you want the oil light to go off. So you go in and you get the chemo radiation, the oil light goes off. Or you go in and you take thyroid medicine, you feel better. So, but these are all outer things. What's going on behind it is why it's there. That's the causative level. Not the causative at the biological level, but the causative at the emotional and spiritual and psychological level. So in medical spiritual healing, what we do is we address what is the causative factors, and there's ways to find that. How do you get inside yourself to identify why the oil light is going on? How do you diagnose it? There's ways of finding that. So in this system, what we do is we teach people to go inside, and we help you to find exactly what's causing the breast cancer in yourself or the autoimmune in yourself. So I'll give you an example of this. There was a lady, she had breast cancer, and she had several small tumors in one breast. She called me. She was very upset. She had no idea why she was sick. They were going to do a mastectomy with radiation. Okay, and when she called me, she was worried. So we began exploring, and there's ways to do this, as I said, what was causing that illness. What she found initially was that breast cancer was related to rage. And in fact, most cancers you'll see are related to rage. It's a deep-seated fire or rage that's inside the person's body. So when we got through the rage, we started looking at what the rage was. And her statement was, she was a teacher, and she said, I'm raging at my students because my students disrespect me. And I'm very angry about that. And so another way of looking at it was the breasts are about giving milk, the milk of love to the baby. She was not giving the milk of love to the students because she was enraged with them because they were disrespecting her. And that all sounded good. But here's the kicker when I say the causative level, what your disease has come to teach you. The disease was there not to teach her to rage at her students because of disrespect. The disease was there to teach her what would cause the rage to disappear and for respect to be established within herself. And what she realized as we started working with it was that the truth of the matter is that she had a short temper. When the students respect her, she lost her respect for them. You see? So when she got hold of her temper and when she understood that, she was disrespecting them, the issue of disrespect was actually emanating from herself. In reaction, yes, to them. But it was from herself. The rage was from herself. She got it. She cleared it. And the rage and the disrespect turned into politeness, into caring, and then it turned into her ability to give the love, the gentle milk of love to her students. This all went on in about 8 weeks. At the end of 8 weeks, the tumor disappeared.
What I'm really struck by in what you're talking about, Dr. Jaffe, there are 3 things in what you said that I want to visit with you on. One is the acknowledgement of the rage, right? and this idea of not getting respect. I would venture to say, and this is a question for you, how often is it the thing that we think it is? And meaning that, sometimes we think, yeah, this is the rage I have for my students because they're not paying respect for me. But is it possible that too then is linked to something that may have happened, 15 years earlier in a marriage, that went bad, where you're with somebody, again, that's not respecting you. And my question is, how deeply does must one go, right, to find out the source and to heal that thing?
My experience is that most of the major diseases, you have to go back within the first 7 years of life, even to the first 3. And that's where the sources of most of those are coming from. And what happens is once the wound is placed, especially at an early level, what it does is it repeats itself again and again. So you get these layers of experience. You basically repeating the experience in different ways again and again. Mm-hmm. Then what happens is you start to get mirrors, which is that somebody shows up in your life and they trigger that early 3-year-old wound. So that will show up eventually until the disease manifests. So you think about it, you have this nucleus, this core illness, this core thing that happened, the core experience. Then you get these layers around it again and again and again of layers of repeated experiences that are similar, and eventually the disease shows up at some point because of that repeated experience. In other words, the body can't handle holding that charge inside of itself, and then eventually it breaks through as illness. So if you want to heal, you have to go back to that core experience. I call that the root, and you have to pull that root out. You have to get those layers out of those experiences. There's ways of washing them out of the system. If you wash those out of the system and you get the core, you're halfway there with healing the illness. The other half is you've got to actually understand, what's the opposite of it? If your experience is that you've been disrespected and you're wounded with disrespect, what's the opposite? What would God want you to do in a situation where you're disrespected? That's the teaching.
Wow. And that really now opens up a bigger conversation, one that many of us, and especially in my case, had to learn the hard way. And, what do I mean by learn the hard way? What is it about the discovery of ourselves, the discovery of who we are, the discovery of how we literally live with dis-ease, right? What do we discover that may give us hope? The hope that we might be able to heal without medicine, maybe even without surgery. What is it about that we're going to explore, especially as we dig deeply into medical spiritual healing with Dr. Ibrahim Jaffe? We're going to take a short break. When we come back, here's the question. Can the body really heal itself? Can the body do that? Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
What the fung do I do with my shui? Are you ready to hear what your space is about you and what you're communicating to the outer world about your inner dialogue? Are you ready to create harmony in your surroundings? Then join us on Clear Speak Talk Radio with Dr. Jeanette Wolf on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Tune in every fourth Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern for current IT integrated with ancient knowledge to boost the broadcast of your space. Visit JeanetteWolf.com for more information on this amazing approach.
How would you like increased health and vitality? How would you like to avoid the onset of disease as well as slow the aging process? This is all possible through a simple, safe, and natural process. Every day we are either moving toward wellness or away from wellness.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. I'd like to be your partner in achieving optimal health. Contact me now at maryjanemack.com or call 425-392-0659. Visit maryjanemack.com.
If you have a sense that you were meant for more, join Heather Allison every third Tuesday at noon Pacific as she explores an ancient, forgotten energy within us and helps us access our original archetypal blueprint. The Golden Path will help you remember the key to unlocking your life, love, success, and magic you were meant for. A key to unlocking your golden path. Visit heather-allison.com.
Hi, I'm Laura Meeks, and the most common problem that my clients face is all work and no play. This is why I created Fly High Living. I help you develop a balanced life plan and guide you to a place where you love to wake up in the morning.
Call 888-666-1570 or go to flyhighliving.com to sign up for the 4-week Flight Plan for Life course.
Join the new Earth on the Cornelia Stephanie Show. Tune in each month as Cornelia takes listeners on an odyssey of higher consciousness to inspire, educate, and empower. Cornelia Stephanie is a spiritual teacher, passionate speaker, published author, and founder of the Empower Network. Cornelia guides people on the path of self-healing, peace, and liberation. For more information, go to corneliastephanie.com.
Have you been searching for a push to step out and share your gifts with the world? Allow Charlene Hess to empower you to start shedding the layers of your ego that are holding you back and begin feeling connected to your heart so that you can shine your unique divine light and share your gifts with the world. Tune in to the Charlene Hess Show, Living on Your Heart's Edge, every third Friday at noon Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. For more information, visit CharleneHess.com.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. Dr. Ibrahim Jaffe is in the house, and we're talking about what your disease has come to teach you. We're also taking your comments, questions, especially if you want to participate today in the show with what we're talking about, but more importantly, in healing. 1-800-930-2819. 1-800-930-2819. Dr. Jaffe, before we go back to really looking at that what if question, tell us a little bit about University of Medical Spiritual Healing, and again, what people can participate in there.
Okay, so University of Medical Spiritual Healing is an outcome of about 35 years of work in spiritual healing. And what I've done is put together basically a very quick way for people to learn to heal themselves. And I believe personally that this is a course that everybody should have. In other words, we all need to learn to heal ourselves. And you've got to know your drugs. People are taking aspirin and Tylenol and ibuprofen and things like that. That's good to know. You should know your herbs. You need to know. Okay, I can also take echinacea or golden seal or something like that will help me. But behind it, there's another piece that everybody needs to learn, which is why we're getting sick and how do we get the causes. And that goes across the board. It doesn't just go to illness. It could be, why do we have relationship-itis? Or why do we have, career-itis? In other words, or why do we just feel unworthy or anxiety in our lives? Things like this. People are suffering from these diseases, and they don't know how to get rid of them, and you end up medicating it, which, again, I'm not against. It has value in the short term. But long term, if you have anxiety, you don't want to be on Valium your whole life. If you have depression, you don't want to be an antidepressant your whole life. You want to get to the root of those things and discharge the root in yourself, so slowly you can get off those drugs and be program where we teach the steps of how you do this. And it's very, very much directed in being able to, first of all, understand the causes, to really find them. And then secondly, learning how to connect to the divine so that we can draw forth the divine light, the divine energy, to bring healing to those causative levels. And my personal experience is that when we do that, not only do we heal the illness, but we also change the very nature of our hearts. We become more enlightened. We become more loving. We become more kind. We literally change our inner reality. We grow spiritually. So for me, the idea of illness, medical spiritual healing university is not just healing yourself. It's actually coming closer to the reality of truth and the reality of love and the reality of goodness in our hearts so that we become more illuminated, spiritually advanced people. And that's a 2-year program. We have 1 2-year programs, which are both online and in person in actually Tampa, Florida right now.
Wow. I mean, everything that we're talking about today and what you just shared about the incredible opportunity for people to learn, and then, of course, work with others, is really at the core of what you do and who you are. And, sharing this is really the answer. It really is the answer for us to understand, what it is that's happening to us. And really addressing the question, especially around our belief and conviction of, can the body heal itself? During the break, I was sharing a story with you, and the question about these stories that we hear about people healing themselves from, terminal cancer or a disease that everybody around you says cannot be healed. We look at that as an isolated situation. But it really does beg the question, doesn't it? If that person could do it, might I not be able to do it? And so that really is the question. Can the body heal itself? And then what do we need to know for that to happen?
Yeah. Well, the body can heal itself without doubt. There are many ways of doing that. Even spiritually, there's many ways. Me personally, in medical spiritual healing, I believe that working with the divine is the highest way of doing that, because I don't think there's anything higher than the divine. And I think it leads to miracles. It can lead to miracles. So, I give you an example of this. This is off the disease track, but one time I was driving an RV. Somebody had loaned me their RV. I was taking it to a workshop, and the tire blew out while I was on the 101 expressway going through San Francisco. And as I went through I was actually on the bridge, and as the tire blew, the RV began to flip. So I was actually flipping over, and I thought, okay, so this is my moment. I'm going to die here. I was ready for it. And then, as it was moving towards the guardrail, probably to go off the bridge, there was a car stopped there with changing its tire with 3 women, and I realized that I was going to crash right into them, and there was absolutely nowhere for them to go. I mean, they couldn't get out of me hitting them. We're talking about a massive RV, and I thought that's going to be it for them. And in that moment, my heart cried out to the divine. And again, how it did that was, through these teachings, through prayer, through calling on the divine names. I called out. It came out of my heart. And I swear, in that moment, it was like I was transported into another world, the angelic world. I could see 2 angels. They came along both sides of this RV, which must have weighed, 30,000 pounds.
Yeah.
And they literally picked it up. I couldn't believe it. I literally watched them come up on. They flew up on it. They literally, the 2 of them took it. They righted the RV, and I missed hitting these girls by maybe a foot. And I realized in that moment the power of the divine, that if 2 angels can ride a 30,000-pound RV, and we are in prayer and we're calling to God and we bring forth the help of the divine, why couldn't those angels go in and remove a disease from somebody, even instantaneously, if God wants it to be that way.
And here's the question, right? Because, I look at this and I look at, my own journey and stories and people that I've seen. What is it that gets in our way? What would you say that is? Because, we now talk about belief as far back as I can even remember, right? About the power of belief and the power to heal. What do you think in today's society, where we are today, what do you believe gets in our way to really enact healing?
Yeah, it's a combination. Part of it is negative beliefs, negative self-talk and negative beliefs. Part of it is faith, lack of trust in the heart, because faith is not a belief. People think about faith as a belief, but faith is actually not from the mind. Faith is a feeling that comes out of the heart when one has trust. So if people are going to heal and they want to work with the divine, which again I think is the highest way, and when you have serious diseases like cancer and things like that, you really need it. If you can change your beliefs that yes, I can heal, and you believe it. I mean, if you believe I can't heal, you know what's going to happen. But if you believe you can heal, it gives you hope. And that hope is very powerful. And then if you can develop faith in your heart that you can receive the light from the divine, you can receive the light of healing, you believe it, you have the faith, you have hope, and you put your full energy into it, 24/7, you're really putting your time into it, you will see often amazing miracles that come through, sometimes, very quickly, and sometimes days or even weeks. You'll see, healing of very, 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 very deep diseases. So, healing with the divine and having these qualities is an essential piece of knowledge that all of us need to have if we're going to heal. Part of the conversation and what I want to talk to you about when we come back is really looking at when we step back from this, when we step back from the conversation, there are several things which come to mind in what you've shared today, but each of them is absolutely within our realm to do. When we come back, we're going to walk through what is it about this process to heal ourselves. What did we learn today? And what can you do right now? Let's take a short break, everyone. We'll be right back.
How often do you find yourself wondering, why me? Learn a new shift in perspective to see how everything that takes place in your life is actually working for you and shifting you towards your own enlightenment. Tune in to Blank Enlightenment Radio with Misty Thompson each month on TransformationTalkRadio.com. For more, visit MistyMThompson.com. That's MistyMThompson.com.
Are you ready for unfiltered gratitude, unfiltered frequency, and unfiltered creation? Then don't miss Mike Murphy Unfiltered on TransformationTalkRadio.com Thursday from 12 to 2 Pacific Time, as Mike Murphy and a cast of powerful guests discuss and demonstrate the principles and practices of the creation frequency. Tune in to unleash the power of your mind. Open the immense energy of the heart to manifest an awesome life filled with true health, wealth, confidence, gratitude, and joy. Unfiltered truth and unfiltered frequency to uncover and let go of limiting beliefs and access your powerful intentions that resonate out into the universe with Mike Murphy Unfiltered. For more information on Mike and his work, visit his website at MikeMurphyUnfiltered.com.
The Truth is Funny. Shift Happens with Colette Marie Steffen is excited to welcome Karen Benton as a monthly guest host. Tune in on the third Wednesday of each month at 8 a.m. Pacific Time to regain confidence and trust in your capacity to create change in your life, your health, your family and your well-being. Karen Benton is a mother, nurse practitioner, certified body talk practitioner, Franklin Method instructor, and owner of Limitless Living LLC. For more information about Karen, visit KarenBenton.com.
Have you ever wondered if there's a way to heal the deep, hidden inner issues, wounds, beliefs, and traumas? The journey into spiritual healing engages people in all areas of their lives to heal themselves and others. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as Dr. Jaffe brings conversations of healing of body, mind, and spirit as he merges the excellence of traditional medicine with the beauty of spiritual healing. For more information about Dr. Jaffe, this show, and his work, visit drjaffemd.com.
Are you ready to branch out? Take a leap of faith. Then tune in to Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills on TransformationTalkRadio.com every second and fourth Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific to equip, empower, and enlighten yourself. Erica will energize and excite you to power up your passionate dream that sets your soul on fire. So, get fearlessly ready and get powerfully rooted in your yes to live it up, love it up, and let it go to ignite the life you deserve. Visit GetRootedRadio.com and tune in. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Dr. Jaffe, again, would you mind telling folks how they can find out more about you, how they can find out about the upcoming classes, all of the above we talked about today as well?
Yes, of course. If you go to my website, Dr. Jaffe, MD, DrJaffemd.com. In fact, if you put /healing/ so drjaffemd.com /healing/ we'll send you some information about healing, which you'll find very interesting, that could start you, on this journey of learning self-healing. If you want, you could also just text healing, the word healing, 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 to area code 707-755-7511. That's 707-755-7511. And you can learn about University of Medical Spiritual Healing or some of our smaller courses, the Foundations of Healing, which will teach you this process in about maybe 4 to 6 weeks. You can learn this process and begin it working on yourself. And I believe, as I said, that, first of all of us need to learn to self-heal. And secondly, that in the medical system in the West, that we really need to include the ability to get to the causes of healing as part of our treatment regimen as we're working on healing people of all diseases. So it's something that I'd like to see go across the board to everybody in our country, really in the world, that we add this causative piece and healing with the divine to heal those causes as an important part of the healing system.
There's so much that we talked about today, and thank you for sharing that, really. I was talking to you during the break, and what I was saying is that, somewhere along the way, I was at a point of desperation in my own healing journey that made me do what I think some people would think is the unthinkable, and that was to pray. And to do it in a way I had not done it before. But what I want to ask you about is, we talked about a number of things today, and the question really it exists out there. Yes, we can heal. We've heard about it. We've read about it. We have examples about it. What can we share with our folks today to help them provide themselves with the tools to take that next step in healing?
Okay, so I'm going to give your audience just a couple of quick steps. Healing can be defined as basically two things. One of them is find the causes, and the second one is apply healing, particularly divine healing, to those causes to wash them away. So it's just two steps, in a sense. Find the causes and wash them away, and you'll have healing. And if you wash them away with divine light, you'll also have spiritual growth. So here's what you can do to begin your healing process. first begin by listening to your illness. In other words, when you have illness, let's say even you have thyroid disease, it doesn't seem to be, I'm just tired, I am fatigued, I have thyroid disease. But if you turn your inner ears and you begin to listen to the fatigue, you begin to listen to when you're fatigued, how you're fatigued, you're going to start to get all these ahas. You're going to say, oh my God, I get fatigued when I repress my anger. I get fatigued when I don't speak my truth. I get fatigued when somebody is aggressive around me. I get fatigued when I get afraid that I can't realize my goals. So as you start listening to your illness, you're going to begin to hear the voices inside yourself that are causing you to actually have that illness. So the first step is learning to listen to your illness. The second step, which I think would be good for people, is just begin the process of prayer, which is, this is the very beginning, but you turn to the divine, you turn to God, and you say, and this is irregardless of religion. It doesn't matter what religion you are, what your spiritual path is, it doesn't matter. You turn to God, and you ask God to help you. You pray to God, you ask God to help you to release what you heard. So I'm afraid that I'm going to fail, therefore I get thyroid disease. I go to God, I say, God, please help me to deal with my issues of failure. You see what I mean? And in doing that, you will set in motion, the divine will begin to help you. They actually will send you angels, they'll send you support to actually begin breaking down the process of what's going inside yourself. Now, what does that look like? Well, sometimes it is one of those angels. You may be walking past the bookshelf in the bookstore. One of those angels will push that book out, and it'll just fall on the floor in front of you, and you'll say, oh, my God, what's this book down? It keeps on going here. Sometimes, you know what I mean? I'm sure it's happened to you, right, Beth?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's, somebody will be triggered to speak about, some process that they're going through that will help you with your illness. So there are many, many ways that the divine supports you. And, of course, the greatest way is for us to learn how to get inside of ourselves. Because at the end of the day, we want to be able to do this ourselves. We want to have the mastery of our own being to be able to heal ourselves of many of these diseases and all the problems we have in our life, not just medical illnesses, but everything. Why we don't have success, why we can't find love, why our children are not doing well. There are reasons for this, and I promise you they are happening from within us, within you. If you can find them in yourselves and change it within, you'll see your children change. They will actually start to become different. It comes from within us when we see these things happening. That's the beautiful thing of finding causative medicine.
Wow. Dr. Jaffe, thank you so very much. And, you and I both have seen what most people would call miracles. And yet at the same time, I know that through the practices, through what you've just talked about, this does then become a way of life. And that way of life literally takes on, the majestic nature of miracles. Yet it's the day-to-day living in that space and that energy of healing. Thank you so much for today. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me on your show, Beth. Thank you.
For those of you out there, please go find out more. And as I said before, you can find out lots from Dr. Jaffe, MD.com. And by the way, we talked about the courses that are available to you about, medical, spiritual healing. All of the above is available on his website. Lots of great things that Dr. Jaffe and his team has put together for us to really stand in the power that we know we have. And that is the power to heal and to express ourselves fully with joy and love. Let's take a short break, everybody. We'll be right back.
You've been listening to Journey into Spiritual Healing Radio with Dr. Jaffe. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as Dr. Jaffe will help you remove the veil of illness and unleash the ancient wisdom of healing as he merges the excellence of traditional medicine with the beauty of spiritual healing. If you've missed any part of this episode or want to find out more about Dr. Jaffe, visit his website, drjaffemd.com.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.